The UK government recently made, two announcements that, in my opinion, I think is actually one of the good news we've heard so far in the UK in the last couple of months. Many of the comments we've heard in the last couple of months has really revolved around the increase in cost of living here in the UK. Honestly, guys, things are getting extremely expensive, cutting across every part of our lives, ranging from rents, from cost of groceries, and so many other stuff. I've heard people who have said, oh, their rents recently moved from £800 now to £950, and all of these people, their earning is still the same. So yeah, it's really sad to see how much things are getting expensive here in the UK. And so many other bad news in relation to immigration, the government increasing IHS fee, increasing visa application fee, and all of those stuff. So yeah, it's been a lot of bad news everywhere. However, we've got two good news this week. In the month of November, and it's really exciting. So some of the things I'm going to be discussing in this video, and I'll also be sharing with you some of the things you need to look out for if you're on a student visa, some of the big mistakes you should avoid if you're on a skilled worker visa here in the UK, and so many stuff like that. So if you'd like to listen to any of those things, make sure you keep watching to the end. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, come on, hit the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. And my returning subscribers, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So without further ado, let's get into the video. First good news we've heard this week basically is the fact that the UK government is increasing the minimum wage, and I think this really happens every at the start of every new financial year basically here in the UK. So from the start of April every year, the government increases the minimum wage. So currently starting from April 2023, yeah, the minimum wage at the moment is £10.42. That's the minimum wage. Now the good thing is that it's also been published on UK government website also, that from April 2024 the minimum wage is going to increase to £11.44. Now this sounds like a good news, to be honest, because actually this is my this is the third time I'm experiencing increase in minimum wage here in the UK. I experienced one that happened in 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. Wow, it's actually the fourth one. I think I've been in this country for a while now, really. So yeah, this fourth one is going to be the fourth increment I've seen since I came into the UK, and it's really so good that most people have different opinions as regards this increase in minimum wage, and I'm going to share my thoughts. I might be wrong, but this is what I think. You can also share your contrary thoughts also in the comment section. Let's have a a chat, not an argument. Now let's have a chat to share each other's thoughts basically. Now in my own thought, if the government is increasing minimum wage to 11.44 or whichever increase they are making or they've made in the past, the truth is this increase is going to oblige employers to meet up with a certain salary amount to pay their employees. So if probably an employee is being paid £10.42 in the past, now the employer is obliged to pay that particular person 11.44. Now the question is, how is this going to impact the economy in any way? Now for me, I think if that employer is obliged to pay that amount, where is he going to get the money from? It has to put it back into its business, and if that is put into the business, it means the cost of that employer's product will also increase. So ultimately, it's still going to affect people buying. So probably the cost of that product is £5 because of the increase in minimum wage, increase in the employer's expenses. That also goes to the product also. So I end up buying a product I buy for £5 before, I probably buy it for £5.20 now. So yeah, it's really still come back to the population with this all increase in minimum wage. I really don't see the impact, really, to be honest. That's really my thought. I might be wrong. You can state any contrary opinion in the comment section. And the truth is, with everything really going on the increase, I don't understand how the minimum wage or the increase in salaries across the globe. I can remember when NHS increased their salary early this year, the increase was barely less than 1 to 2% increase basically. And when the government wanted to increase IHS fee or visa fee, the increase was massive. Currently, they increased the IHS fee by 65%. Like, how do you explain that, honestly? How do you explain an increase? So, for instance, now, if you're applying for a skilled worker visa in the next 2 months now, I think from 16th of January, now, the initial price, the initial amount used to be £627. Now we'll be paying £35 for IHS fee. I'm still going to be buttressing and talking about that later in this video. Yeah, that's really one of the good news, is that there was going to be an increase, which I think happens, is a statutory thing anyway, happens every year, increase the minimum wage. The next good news we've heard this week is the fact that, which is Sunak announced on national TV, that his next plan, or his administration's next plan, is to cut tax.
To those who say this should be easy.
I believe in cutting taxes, but doing that responsibly is hard. And no matter how much we might want them to, history shows that tax cuts don't automatically pay for themselves. And I can't click my fingers and suddenly wish away all the reasons that taxes had to increase in the first place.
The country's tax burden is at a 70-year high. This week, that will begin to ease for some.
Now that inflation is halved and our growth is stronger, meaning revenues are higher, we can begin the next phase and turn our attention to cutting tax. It will take discipline, and we need to prioritise. But over time, we can and we will cut taxes.
Rishi Sunak wants the credit for tax cuts that'll be spent.
And this is super exciting because, to be honest, the amount we pay on tax, of course, although we see what there is on the tax for, we get the benefits of the tax we're paying, but the amount being paid on tax, honestly, is really on the high side, considering the high cost of living the country is currently experiencing. And it's really exciting to hear that the UK Prime Minister announced on national TV that their next plan, after the country's economy is stabilized, is for them to cut tax. And although so many people have different cultural opinion, many people are saying, oh, this is only going to benefit the rich, that even people that are earning basic salary, minimum wage salary, are not going to benefit from this tax cuts. Now we're looking forward to what is going to be implemented in the nearest future in relation to the cut of tax. I think it's really going to be important if this cut is really significant, so at least it helps people be able to meet up with their financial obligations and pay up their bills and what have you, basically. So yeah, back to the fact that things are really getting on the high side here in the UK. If you are on a student visa and you're looking at switching to a skilled worker visa very soon, or you've got an employer you currently work part-time with that's promised to sponsor you, now this is something you need to do. You probably need to contact that employer and say, so for instance, the program is going to end in February, and the employer has promised that when you finish your program, he or she is going to sponsor you. I think it's high time you speak to that employer. If they are really going to sponsor you, it's time for them to give you that COS, and then put your start date after your program ends. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because the moment you get that offer, you get that COS, it's important that you push out your application before the 16th of January 2024. Because this increase in IHS fee, I really do understand, especially if you are applying for a particular job that you won't get a refund. For instance, if you're probably getting an HR job in NHS, for instance, you're going to pay the NHS fee. However, you get a refund every six months. That's still not bad. Of course, you're putting your money in and you're getting it back later. But if you apply for a job outside the health and care sector, then you're not getting the IHS back. So it's quite a lot of money. So just speak to your employer, because the employer won't be paying for the IHS, you will pay. So just speak to them, speak to the HR if it's something they can do. Let them give you the COS, apply for the visa, but put your start date after the end of your program. That's really going to save you a lot. Honestly, just imagine you doing this with a family of 4. That's a lot. £1,035, for, let's say you get a 3 years visa, that's about 3 grand already. You've got the visa application fee. So a single applicant is going to be paying about £3,800. Then multiply that by 4 or by 3 or by 2, depending on the size of your family. So it's really a lot. So speak to your employer and make sure you get that done as soon as possible. And also for those on the skilled worker visa, honestly, our story is a different thing entirely, because even though we might think, oh, thank God I've got my skilled visa worker visa, this isn't going to affect me. That's not true, except this is your last the visa you are on is what is going to lead you to your indefinite leave to remain. If not, if you're still going to apply for another visa to renew the 3 years you've gotten or the 4 years you've gotten from your employer, then it's going to affect you, because by the time you renew your visa, you're not going to be renewing that visa with the cost you paid for the first application. You're going to be paying the current IHS fee. So it's really on the high side, to be honest, but we're in the UK already, we're going to survive. So just imagine paying £12,000 on visa application fee, including IHS, for a family of 4, and you earn £30,000 annually before tax. That's ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, that's the reality of things now. So if you have any thoughts on what has been said in this video, please state in the comment section. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, come on, hit the like button and also hit the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. And my returning subscribers, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So this will be the end of this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you.